P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. We got some things we got to talk about, some crazy stuff going on, okay? Things are going off on a crazy train right now. If you get what I just said, you'll get what I'm saying here. But there's been a lot of breaking news, things that we're going to be talking about today. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things to discuss. It is absolutely insane. Yeah. And heartbreaking all at the same time. So we got a lot to talk about today. Okay, so please do me a favor. All right, before we get into everything, hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please hit that follow button, that like button, whatever they say for the page. Okay, make sure you're following the page. All right. Hit that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel. Go to my other two channels as well. I have the Pascal Show Clips and I have Pascal Raw. Please go over to both of those channels. Go check them out. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell on all these channels so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, okay? Just so you guys know. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out pascalmerch.com. Okay? pascalmerch.com. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. I appreciate you guys coming in here and chopping it up with me. I was planning on doing an earlier show, but certain things happened. I couldn't get in here in enough time for you guys. So I figured I'll just cover as much as I can right now with you guys. And then, of course, if I have to, I'll come on a little bit later on today. Okay, or later on this evening. But for right now, we do have some breaking news. This is a bad. I hate starting off these shows this way, but we have got to talk about this main thing, which is very, very sad. Ozzy Osbourne, rock singer, superstar, legend. Okay, Ozzy Osbourne has passed away at I believe, the young age of 76 years old. Of course, he was battling Parkinson's. There's a lot. I'm sure that it's going to come out more as time goes on, right? But I will say this: Parkinson's disease is no joke. It is absolutely no joke. So let's get straight into this. I'm just sorry we have to start with this in this way, but this is breaking news, and this has been taking the world by storm for sure. All right. So Ozzy Osbourne, of course, dead at 76. So legendary rock singer. Ozzy Osbourne has lost his life. So in a statement to TMZ, the Osbourne family says Ozzy died Tuesday surrounded by love. The cause of his demise is unclear. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, he was riddled by Parkinson's. And again, Parkinson's is it's a beast of a disease. So, we can basically say the common denominator is Parkinson's, but it could have been something else that caused him to pass away due to him having Parkinson's, if that makes any sense. Okay. Of course, they're going to tell us. I'm sure it's going to be a very, very quick report on what was his cause of his demise. He also, they just did a Black Sabbath farewell show where like every rocker under the sun, okay, came in and, obviously went up there, performed for him, as a way of saying goodbye. And of course, he now is gone. It's just wild that this all happened I mean, within months of each other, weeks of each other, to be completely honest, right? So the Osbournes, the family, say it is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. They continue. He was with family. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at the time or at this time. And of course, there's going to be a flood of tributes just coming out for him. Okay. I mean, shoot, does anybody remember the reality show that they had? I mean, and that reality show was insane, right? So yeah, again, pretty terrible stuff for sure. The statement was signed by, of course, his kids and his mother, and his wife. I'm sorry. So Ozzy was first famous for heading up the group, the rock band, Black Sabbath, founding the iconic rock band in Birmingham, England, in 1968. So his death comes just weeks after he performed one last time with Black Sabbath. Like I said, this was a big that event. The farewell show was a big deal, right? Very big deal. Okay. The band received numerous accolades over the years, including 2 Grammy Awards and a 2006 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Among their most famous songs, War Pigs, Iron Man, Paranoid, Children of the Grave, and Sweet Leaf. You can't forget Crazy Train, right? Going on the rails on the crazy train, right? Isn't that the song? Isn't that the song? The title of the song, Crazy Train? Isn't that what it's called? But yeah, I mean, again, a lot of iconic songs, okay? Huge iconic songs. So, despite their meteoric rise to fame, Ozzy Osbourne was booted from the group in 1979 because of his addictions, and his addictions were severe, okay? Just to be completely real, they were severe, an issue he struggled with consistently over the next few decades. He then embarked on an incredibly successful solo career, during which he released 13 studio albums, the first 8 of which all went platinum in the United States. He also won 5 Grammy Awards as a solo artist while penning. Okay, so Crazy Train was when he was on his solo career. Okay, so penning hit tracks like Crazy Train and No More Tears. During this time, Shannon Osbourne took over as his manager, okay, his wife, okay? So he met her in 1970 through her father, who worked for Black Sabbath at the time. Almost a decade later, in 1979, Sharon helped Ozzy fight against his addictions after being kicked out of Black Sabbath. She also encouraged him to begin a aforementioned solo career, and the two married in 1982. So he also emerged as a reality star. Let's not forget the reality show. All right, that was some crazy stuff. Okay. Didn't they use the Crazy Train song, but they did it kind of like a lounge singer? Wasn't that the thing? Didn't they use the crazy? That's how it goes. You know what I mean? Like this whole like very old school, but that was like their theme song for the Osbournes reality show, wasn't it? I could have sworn it was, but anyway, of course they're doing their own reality show. Okay, the show ran for 52 episodes over 4 seasons from 2002 to 2005. The couple's children, Amy, Kelly, and Jack, have gone on to carve out careers as TV and internet personalities as well, regularly appearing in the reality shows starring their parents. And of course, he is survived by his kids, his numerous grandchildren, and of course, his wife, Sharon. Okay. And of course, Sharon Osbourne. I mean, wasn't she on like The View or something like that? It was one of those panel shows that they did every, 5 days a week. But she was there. You know what I mean? Um, and obviously they had a great love for each other. Now, here's the thing. Complications due to, as a result of having Parkinson's, I believe is going to be the reason why he is no longer with us. I don't think it's anything sinister or anything, no foul play of any sort. No, I don't think this is like a Robin Williams type of situation, if that makes any sense as well. I truly think that, he had complications to Parkinson's and he lost his life. Now, the reason why I say this too is that, on a personal level, my father was battling Parkinson's disease for many years. And then, of course, he lost his life. But how he lost his life in something else that was because of having Parkinson's, if that makes any sense. So, of course, I don't know what is going on, what actually happened here, or anything of that sort, but I can relate and I can really say, from the heart that Parkinson's is no joke. Parkinson's sucks. And F Parkinson's. And I wish that we could figure out a way to find a cure for it, because it's a very scary thing. And there's a lot of people with it. And again, man, if there was a way to figure something out, maybe we could have our loved ones here a little bit longer than what we have them here for. But may he rest in peace, and my condolences to the family, because I can completely understand. It is not an easy disease. It is not. And they say, of course, that they say this with cancer, and they say this with other diseases as well, but it's very true. Parkinson's, it affects the entire family. Okay, for sure. And so again, the whole family has it, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? They're all going through it together. So, my heart and my prayers go out to the Osbourne family, because it is a terrible, terrible way to go. Long story short. But of course, they'll have more information about what's going on here, what happened, why this happened, right? Hopefully very, very soon. But I'm sure, like I said, I feel like it's complications due to Parkinson's. My dog, I don't know. My dog ain't happy about that either. Okay. But it's not great news, period. When you lose anybody, just like when we talked about yesterday, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. I mean, such a terrible, terrible situation that happened over there as well. You just never know how long you're here. So while you're here, do whatever you can while you're here. You know what I mean? Do some dope things while you're here, right? But speaking of, and may he rest in peace again, of course. But speaking of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, okay, Theo Huxtable, I mean, iconic role, the Cosby Show star. I do have an update here that I think is very interesting as well, that it wasn't only just him that was swept under or dragged away by a current. Apparently there was another person that was hit. Okay. Another person actually had the same situation, and now they're in critical condition, because it was not only just one guy. It wasn't just Malcolm. It was also another man as well that got dragged under this current. So we got to take a look at this too. Okay. Real quick. Okay. Before we get into the main conversation, which we're going to go straight into very shortly. Okay, guys. And of course, please do me a favor. Okay. As you guys start to file in, hello. Okay. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit that like button down below. Crush it. Of course. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Okay. Set it to all. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. But they're saying that he's not the only one. So like, this isn't some strange, because, you know, like I said before, there was going to be people, I don't know why it's doing this, but there were going to be people that were going to say, oh, something sinister happened here for sure. Something definitely sinister happened. Something weird happened. Why did this whole thing go down? You know, he was taken from us against his will. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of crazy speculations and rumors that are flooding the internet streets like crazy. And it's like, wait a second. What if he just actually was just dragged out by a current and lost his life? That's it. Why does it have to be so complicated, right? Why does it have to be like, I saw random, man, I'm not kidding. I saw something on somewhere. It was like a post somewhere. Someone saying, "Oh my gosh, this guy lost his life the same day on the anniversary of the death of Obama's cook that lost his life. You know, paddle boarding out in the lake. Remember that guy? That happened like a year ago, if I'm correct." And I'm sitting there going like, come on, y'all. Come on. People do lose their lives in tragic ways. It doesn't automatically have to be like, oh, he was part of the dark underbelly of Hollywood and he was connected to. It doesn't have to be like that. It could just be tragic. It could just be a tragedy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And people are trying to, like, you see they're trying to bend it. They're trying to change things and, like, you know what I mean? Reverse the math. And it's like sometimes 2 + 2 = 4. And that's it. That's it. Some people just lose their lives in tragic ways. You know? You know what I'm saying? But again, I even said it when the news came out about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. I even said that as well. I was like, you know what? I'm sure people are going to want to know what actually happened. If this is, something sinister, something deeper went on, so on and so forth. And it's like, no. He lost his life in a tragic way. In a very unfortunate and tragic way. That's it. And yes, when there's room for strange things, when there's room for speculation, when someone mysteriously passes away, that's one thing. I get it. That we all ask the questions, but when it's like, it's very straightforward, sometimes 2 + 2 just = 4, guys. You know what I mean? But a second man is reportedly in critical condition after he was also dragged by the fatal water current, okay, that took the life of Cosby Show star Malcolm-Jamal Warner in Costa Rica. So we already know he was best known for his role as Theo Huxtable, okay, and the late 80s, early 90s beloved sitcom, okay, and so news of his death was initially reported Monday, shocking his colleagues and fans around the world. New details have since emerged, including the condition of a second unidentified man who was also pulled from the water. So it wasn't only just Malcolm-Jamal Warner. It was another guy as well. So on Sunday at around 2 p.m., the Costa Rican Red Cross received a report about a water-related incident involving 2 males at the Playa Grande or the Playa Grande Resort. Okay, the organization said in a statement per people. When medics arrived, they quote unquote attended to both men. Apparently, they said that they were performing CPR on Malcolm-Jamal for like 20 minutes straight, with no luck, right? So, yep. Warner was given CPR before he was pronounced gone at the scene, all right? The scene was subsequently handed over to the police authorities for the appropriate legal procedures. The Costa Rican Red Cross additionally told people that, according to their report, 2 people were dragged by a water current at the beach. By the time first responders arrived, both men were out of the ocean. So in an earlier statement shared on Monday, the Judicial Investigation Agency, OIG, confirmed that Warner appears to have entered the sea and was apparently swept away by a current. Bystanders rescued Warner from the water and brought him to shore. However, he was declared lifeless at the scene. So they say that his cause of demise was asphyxia. And this is what was announced and confirmed by the Costa Rican National Police. So again, he went out into the river, or out into the ocean, I'm sorry. He went out to the ocean, getting a few laps in or whatever, enjoying himself in the ocean. And for some odd reason, he got swept away by some sort of riptide or some sort of wild current that took him under. And then when they were able to get him out, it was already too late. And the thing is that it wasn't only just him. It was another guy as well where this thing happened. And of course, I'm sure they're going to be doing some sort of massive, extensive autopsy on him to find out exactly how what happened to him and all that. But I doubt that there's going to be anything sinister going on with this situation. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I want you guys, I want the fam to be rest assured that sometimes accidents just happen. That it doesn't have to be, just because he's a celebrity, that it has to be some sort of chemicals or some sort of substances that were in his system, or that there was some strange foul play that was going on, that he was connected to some crazy underbelly of something, this, that, and the third, or that he was going to unearth the Epstein list or something crazy like that. No. He just went out to the ocean to have a good time, and bad things happened. That's it, guys. That's really, really it. At least that's how I see it. Okay? At least that's how I see it. Now, you never know. There might be more information out here soon. But for what they're giving us right now, I just want you guys to be rest assured that this man tragically lost his life in a horrific way. And it wasn't because he knows things about the administration, or that he was going to blow the lid off of something. No, he just went out to the ocean on vacation, trying to enjoy his time. And God forbid, the waters took him under. Again, like I said, I just want to say to him, may he rest in peace as well. That's bang, bang. That's double. That's bang, 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 bang. You got Malcolm-Jamal Warner, and then you got Ozzy Osbourne. It's like bang, bang. You know what I mean? It's absolutely tragic. Terrible information. Both of them are legends, and both of them have lost their lives in such a tragic way. May they rest in peace, guys. And of course, if there's more information, we'll find out. But I think this is just literally getting swept in by a strong current, and he lost his life. It's sad stuff, guys. It's sad stuff, sad stuff. But we're moving on. Okay. And of course, like I said, if there's more information about that, I'll let you guys know. Okay. But real talk, I think this is just a really crappy tragedy. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So may he rest in peace. May Ozzy Osbourne rest in peace as well. And if there's more information, I'll let you guys know. But moving on, we got to get into some more of the news here. And one of the main things y'all are here for. So we're going to talk about that now. I just needed to get all that stuff out the way, okay? And get all that information to you guys first, because I know a lot of that was breaking news information from yesterday and today, right? First off, some weird stuff is going on, okay? A lot of weird stuff is going on. A lot of stuff that just happened before I even went live with y'all. Maybe about an hour or two before I went live with y'all, some weird stuff has gone on, and it continues to be weird. So I'm just going to keep saying weird, because that's going to be the theme song, or like the theme. Okay, that's going to be the code word. All right, the magic word. If you're a Pee-wee's Playhouse kid, okay, the theme And the magic word for today is weird. Okay? I'm just going to say that now because it's just going to get weird here in a second. First and foremost, here's this. This happened just a few hours ago, or not a few hours ago. I'm sorry. This happened this morning. Okay. Like I said, I was going to go on live with y'all. We were going to talk about it, but then I was like, I got things to do. I got to take care of a few things. We'll talk about it later. And things continued to get weirder. So we're going to talk about those. Okay. Now, here's something that's very interesting. The DOJ officially says that they're going to sit down with Ghislaine Jizzy Maxwell. Let me tell you something. First off, I am tired. That's it. That's it. I'm just tired, okay? No. I'm tired of talking about this epi list, okay? Because at this point, we should have already been through this stuff. We should have already been known the names. We should have already been seen the list. We already should have been seen the files, but we still haven't seen not a damn thing. That is weird to me. And I'm going to continue saying that until the files come out. And even after the files come out, I'm still going to sit here and say that is weird to me. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Reason why I find this weird is on a multitude of reasons. Okay? We're going to get into that just about now. Okay? So, remember, she actually put out a whole she put out a request, right, for to kind of have her case be looked at again, to appeal her actual time, her sentencing, etc. Right? This was right after the DOJ and the whole Trump administration said, "Oh yeah, these things don't exist." Right? The list does not exist. Right? So fine, that's totally fine. Cool. It don't exist for you. But for everybody else, see, my dog is just not happy with all these bad news. He don't like the bad news conversations today. It's okay, cabrón. Tranquilo, por favor. Moving on, though. Here's the thing, okay? She put out the request, her team, okay, Maxwell's lawyers, saying, hey, we would like to revisit the information, okay, because we need to let her free. Because if there's no list, then why does she need to be in it all locked up? Then if there's no wrongdoing, then she's not a co-conspirator, right? Right. So, fine. They said, no. She said, please, can you let me go? Can you get me out, love? And they said, no. Right? They said no. But now they're going, well, we're going to go and meet up with her. And we're going to find out what she has up her sleeve. Because she clearly has a whole deck, a whole mother-loving deck of aces up her sleeve, if you really think about it. Because why would she continue to be out here saying, oh, yeah, I have a list. I know things. Let me free, right? Why waste her time with that information if she was to just say, hey, I know nothing. It was just me and Jeffrey. Jeffrey is a dirty dog. I let him do all those dirty things with all those littles. It was just me and him with these littles, and that's it. We are just doing our own disgusting, very disturbing, messed up version of a freak off. That's all. That's it. But I don't think it's that. I think there's more going on here. And I'm also side-eyeing the hell out of this situation with them expecting to meet with his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. I know it's Ghislaine. Okay? Just so you know. Okay? I get it. All right? But let's take a look at this. So, a top DOJ official said Tuesday that he intends to meet soon with Ghislaine Maxwell, okay, which we already know this is the co-conspirator. This is the Clyde, or this is the Bonnie to Jeffrey's Clyde, okay, doing all these disgusting things, all right? to ask her, they're going to go meet up with her just to specifically ask her, what do you know about other potential monsters? And I guarantee you, there's a whole lot of them. There's more than just a few, okay? This is not just a skosh of people. I guarantee you it's more than just two people here, okay? And you know for a fact she knows some information, okay? So the extraordinary announcement by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche comes after weeks of controversy and criticism of the Trump administration for recently reneging on promises to make public more details of investigative files about the late money manager Epstein and Maxwell. President Trump, who years ago had been a friend of Epstein, has chafed under the criticism and suggested that the furor, I guess is the fury over the withholding of these Epstein files is a hoax cooked up by Democrats. Now, I want to remind you guys, remember that? Remember this a couple of days ago? That we had times. We had a good time. You know, we have fun on this show. And yeah, he was sitting there going, oh, no, why are you guys talking about this? The F are you talking about this, guys? My God, what's wrong with you? It's the damn Demis. Blame all the Demi Moores out there. All of them damn Demis. It's all of their fault, not us. The hell you talk? How dare you bring up Epstein in front of me? You know better. The hell is wrong with you asking me questions about Epi, even though I've been talking about it for years? And all my people, I've been talking about it for several months. No big deal. No, it's the Demis. It's them damn Democrats. Blame them, right? Be gone. Be gone from me. Look at this dude. He's asking me about the Epstein files. Where did that come from? What idea? Where did you get that idea? That's wild. You must be out your damn mind. Can somebody get a psychiatrist for him, get his head checked? Because clearly something's wrong with this man's ass. This all came from him. This all came from him and his administration. See, I don't understand. Like, you know, they say like TDS, like Trump derangement syndrome, right? They talk about that all day long about any person that thinks or believes or does not like anything that Trump has to say, right? They go, oh, TDS. Look at that guy. He's got TDS. Oh, he better get checked because he's got some TDS, right? They say all that. But what about the people that are actually going out of their way to sit there and say that whatever Trump says is truth all the time? The ones that are absolutely brainwashed, that are now going, why are you guys talking about the Epstein files? The hell's wrong with you? He didn't talk about nothing. I don't remember him saying nothing about no Epstein file. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? What do you mean? There's got to be something else for if it's TDS for the other people that are just like boo, anti-Trump. What about what's the syndrome for the other people then? That are all like, he could sit there and go, I just, eat a whole lot of butter. And everyone's like, and it cures cancer. And they all think I just have to eat butter. Trump said eat butter. So it cures cancer. What's the phrase for that? Low IQ syndrome. I'm done. But I'm just saying, come on, y'all. Because I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it on this channel. I've been seeing it in the chat. I've been seeing it on social media. And I'm like, what planet did you wake up from and then jumped into your ship and flew all the way over here for you to miss out on everything that had everything to do with Epstein? Real talk. You must have been on a whole other planet. Still locked up in your house because of COVID or something. I don't know, but it just doesn't make any sense that there are people out here that are angry at the general public, by the way. Both Democrats and Republicans are angry about this situation and they want truth. That's it. But there's people out there, the few stragglers, it's not a few, there's a lot of them actually, that'll get mad for challenging the president I urge everyone to challenge every single president. If this was Obama, if this was Biden, if this was Bush, Senior, Junior, the Clintons, Reagan, Jimmy Carter, I'd be saying, hey, guys, I know I'm not in chronological order. I'm just naming out names. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, ask all the questions. We should be challenging them. It's our job. That is our legal right as Americans. Damn it. Start asking questions on all of them. Period. And when they drop the ball, when they make a huge mistake, like we're going to drain the swamp, we're going to drain it. Drain, baby, drain. We're going to drain. When you say that and then you bring up nothing and then try to blame it on everybody else, come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Come on. We all need to use our brain matter. Use these brain waves. I feel like we get so complacent. Okay? So complacent, like, oh, he driving? Cool. All right. Let me know when we get there. Like, and it's like, wait, why are we on sleep mode? We need to wake the F up and question everything even more now. And we're seeing it from people. We're seeing it from all kinds of people now. Hardcore Trump supporters are now sitting there going, well, if he lied to us about this, could he have lied about anything else? Oh, my word. Say it ain't so. How, Sway? How? Right? Right? Come on, y'all. We got to use our brains. Period. And I highly recommend you guys to do so. Okay? Just do it for me. Okay? If you're not going to do it for yourself, just do it for me. Okay? Use your brain. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Y'all are very brilliant people. But I feel like people don't want to challenge things because they're worried about shaking up the status quo, or they don't want to get out of that realm of complacency. And let me tell you, complacency can be very, very detrimental, not only just to your life, but to your health. Okay? We need to keep pushing forward. And every single person, every single president that we have or leader that we elect, we must always challenge them. That is what we're supposed to be doing. It's so crazy to me. And so when you see a situation like this, where he says, we're going to drain the swamp, we're going to let it all out, we're going to expose all this stuff, the truth shall set us all free. And then he says, oh, it's not there, and it's all of these guys' fault. Here's the thing. If you didn't start off with that argument, why are you bringing that argument up now? Do you understand? When he says those damn Democrats, it's all of them, they were going off on me with the Russia stuff. They were trying to expose me and trying to make it seem like that the certain, elections were rigged and all that stuff, right? He says it now. Why didn't he say that before? Do you understand? The timeline is weird, and we must use our brains and think about these things and ask the questions, dagnabbit. Not, oh, it's Trump, so, he tells the truth all the time. No, he don't. Come on. You think he telling the truth to Melania all the time? Hell to the no, he ain't. Okay? Come on now. He's human. He is not superhuman. He is a regular dude. With all due respect, hold on, time out before you get mad. Because I know some people are like, oh, yeah, he's perfect. He is not Clark Kent. He is not Kal-El that came from Krypton, okay? He's a man just as much as anybody else, okay? And we should challenge those things and ask the questions when weird things go down. And right now, him calling it a hoax, calling his MAGA supporters weak, and anybody else who asks the questions weak, calling us bad people, all those things should be challenged and asked. Period. Okay? Period. So in a statement, Blanche, okay, the Deputy Attorney General, okay, said in a statement, which was retweeted by Pam Bondi, raises the question of whether Maxwell will cooperate with the DOJ, possibly in hopes of receiving a reduction in her prison term. Yeah, she gonna get a reduction in her prison term for sure. Let's be real, okay? Let's be real. She's gonna get that. She's not gonna sit there and go like, oh yes, I know it all. It's fine. I really love 3 square meals a day and a bed to sleep in and a roof over my head. So you don't have to let me go. I'll stay here forever for the rest of my natural life because it's very comfortable. I don't have to think about work. So yeah, I have the list. Do you want it? Or no? Are you out your mind? Of course she's going to be like, get me out of here. And the thing is you have to pump the brakes and wonder, is she going to say these things out of truth? Or is she going to say whatever she can just so she can get out of that prison sooner? Think about that for a second. She'll just go, okay, the internet always talks about Obama. They always talk about Obama, the Clintons, the Oprahs, etc. Maybe throwing a little Bill Cosby in there. You know what I'm saying? So she just starts saying names with no backing to them at all whatsoever. Imagine that. Imagine that if she did that. She can get real reckless out here because she has information. I truly believe she does. Oh, and here's the other thing too. Oh, look, can we address the elephant in the room really quick? I have to do this. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen of the show, appreciate you. Quick question. If the list exists, why in the world does the DOJ need to sit down and talk to Ghislaine Maxwell? If the list exists, the DOJ already knows this, ladies and germs. I just want to let you know, she already has the info. They, not her, they already have it in files and paperwork. So explain to me, even all y'all in the nosebleed seats that are watching right now, I know you're watching. Think about that for a second. Just let that marinate in your brain real quick. Why does the DOJ need to sit down and have conversations with a woman by the name of Ghislaine Maxwell about a list if they already have a list in the files? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Okay? Someone make that make sense. Make that make sense. Oh, we need to go and meet up with her so we can cross-reference her list. Do you really think that she has a list just written down somewhere that she's just stuffed up her butthole before she walked into that prison, and now it's just in there somewhere, crumpled up somewhere, lodged in some crevice of her freaking prison cell right now? And then when they finally come in, she's like, I've been waiting for you. And she's hobbling over to where she's hidden the list, and she's pulling it out going, here is the list that I have written down. Do we have the same names? Do we have the same names? It's like, no, come on, guys. Come on. You know what I mean? She's not doing that. So why do they need to meet with her, man? Why? Think about it for a second. Just hold on. Just think about it for a second. Go ahead. Because you know for a fact I have a point. You know for a fact I got a point. Why would they need to meet up with her? What? So that they can cross-reference their lists? It doesn't make sense. Why would they need to do that? Unless it's for something else. And my theories is that there's something else going on here. They don't need to meet with her. They don't. They really don't. But this is all optics. Oh. Oh, God, that word optics. Yes, it's optics, y'all. It's just optics. Yeah, we're getting down to the bottom of it. We're definitely getting down to the bottom of it right now. We're doing everything we can to get down to the bottom of it and see what she knows. Why? You the DOJ. You have all the power. You have thousands and thousands of pages of files about this whole thing. What do you need to meet her for? Why? Make it make sense, guys. I'm sorry. I had the image of, I've been waiting for you. I'm sorry. Think about it, guys. Think about it for a hot minute. Why would they need to meet with her? It don't make no sense. They already have all the information that they need. So why would they need to meet with her? Either to shut her up, work out a deal to shut her up, or they don't know anything and they're idiots and they're hoping that they can literally cross-reference their list with her. She's already been locked up for a few years. You really think she knows every single name like that? She's going to be like, it's this. The prince of this place, the duchess of this place, the duke of this place. Do you really think she has it all written out? Come on now. Come on now. Just saying, it seems a little weird. We're going to show up. We're going to sit down. We're going to have a real conversation with that young lady. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. Young lady, what else do you know? Make that make sense. Come on now. Come on. All right. So her lawyer wrote on his own X post, okay? And he wrote, I can confirm that that we are in discussions with the government and that Ghislaine will always testify truthfully. Did she testify truthfully before, though? Did she? I mean, seriously, did she? I don't know if she did. But he says, we are grateful to President Trump for his commitment to uncovering the case or to uncovering the truth in this case. Okay. President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence, as, of course, the deputy AG Blanche wrote on his social media post. So they're all like, oh, we're getting along. Can't wait to see you. It's almost like they're like, we're going to Vegas together kind of thing. So they're posting about it. Can't wait to hang out with Blanche. Me and Blanche are going to the Vegas. Oh my God. You know what I mean? They're like, can't wait. This is going to be fire. You know what I mean? It's going to be a weekend we'll never forget. This is literally what's going on X right now. Don't forget to bring the sunscreen and the Tito's because it's gluten-free. Can't wait. Send. That's what we're looking at right now. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say, Blanche wrote. Stop! You know what? They just lost the game. Right there. I'm sorry. They lost the game right there. Come on. You know what they're doing? They're continuing with the BS ploy. Hear me out. They're continuing with the BS. This is theatrics. There it is. That's the word. It's theater for our minds. Hold on. Hear that again. This is from the deputy AG. Not Pam Bondi, but the deputy. Here it is. If Ghislaine Maxwell has any information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and DOJ will hear what she has to say. Here it is. Can you hear? Time out for a second. Do you hear that BS? Am I the only one who's not seeing the BS? Okay, so let me take you a little trip down memory lane. We're just going to hit the rewind button real quick. Couple days, weeks ago, they said the list does not exist. Remember that? And everyone lost their minds. They said a list does not exist at all. Then we saw Trump go out of his way to say, oh yeah, a list does exist. There are files that do exist, but it's all because the damn Demis, right? Then there was all kinds of different mucky muck going on. He said, Rosie O'Donnell's going to hell. That didn't stick. And then a whole bunch of other things where he was just trying to throw as many left turns, trying to get us to be like, try to get us looking at those shiny objects instead of going straight forward towards the Epstein list, right? They said it doesn't exist. Then he says it does exist. And then now again, we're hearing from the deputy AG, okay, saying if she has any information about anyone who has done any crimes, listen, if they are, the list already exists, okay? The documents exist. The files exist, okay? They've already said that a bunch of times. And now they're still trying to act like she's the only person with the key. She's the only one who can spill the tea. When you know for a fact the DOJ, FBI, the administration already has the information. They know the truth. They have a list. So what are you talking about here? Make that make sense. So now they're back to the whole thing of as if the list does not exist. You see what I'm saying? So now she's the only one who has the proof. So they're going to go on to this strange, wild journey, like a pilgrimage, okay? Like we're reading the first book of Lord of the Rings, okay? As they go off to see Ghislaine in her prison mountain to get all the information that could unlock the key to the truth of the world, because she's the only one that holds the truth. You don't see it, I see it. If you don't, just rewind this whole thing, listen to it again, and it may stick. It may stick in your brain. If it doesn't, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to agree with me. You don't. That's why I love you, and that's why I hate you too. No, I'm just kidding. But still, think about that for a second. Okay? That's a little weird, right? Magic word of the day. A little weird, don't you think? We got more.
Let's begin this morning. The ongoing controversy over the Jeffrey Epstein files. The Department of Justice now says it intends to meet with Epstein's co-conspirator. Her name is Ghislaine Maxwell. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche posted on social media saying he plans to meet with Maxwell soon. He goes on to say no one is above the law and no lead is off limits. CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro has more on this. So, Aaron, thanks for joining us. This is a major development from the DOJ. What else do we know?
Yeah, the Deputy Attorney General said that this was at the direction of Attorney General Pam Bondi, who has seen some flack and criticism from the quote-unquote MAGA base in the last couple of weeks over her handling of the Epstein documents. Just a reminder, Maxwell is a longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, a former girlfriend, who was sentenced to 20 years on sex trafficking charges. Maxwell's attorney said in a post today that they are in discussions with the federal government, said that Maxwell would, quote, testify truthfully, but had nothing else to add in that comment. Now, this possibility of talks comes after a weekend where President Trump and the administration have been urging their supporters to move on from this Jeffrey Epstein story. But it looks like, at the direction of at least the Attorney General Pam Bondi, that their Justice Department will be kind of pursuing this case a bit more further.
Now, let me tell you something. This is not going to stop anyone from talking about this. Because they keep saying, oh, yeah, we're going to do everything we can to get down to the bottom of it because the people are not happy with this. And we've already seen Trump being like, why are we still talking about this? Everyone needs to get over it, blah, blah, blah. But what they're trying to do right now, at least in my personal opinion, and you don't have to agree with me, it's totally fine. Okay? This is why we have conversations. All right? I'm just one person talking against millions. It's a cold world. But here's the thing. You can't tell me that this isn't some sort of display of trying to get down to the bottom of it when they're really not going to get down to the bottom of it at all. We're going to talk to her. We're going to see what she knows. And what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. They either give her a deal and she gets a reduced sentence, and they'll try to find some excuse on why she got the reduced sentence. And it will have nothing to do with the actual list. Hear me out. It'll have to do with something like the list doesn't exist. And she's right. There is no reason for her to stay locked up like this for this long. So she gets a reduced sentence, but they also continue to lie to the American people. And then eventually they hope that because they finally went to the source, the only source, because the other guy, he gone, okay? He, in the arms of an angel, he dead, okay? He gone. So she's the only source right now. She's the only known source to the public, right? So they'll sit there and go, listen, we know what you know, but we can't get that stuff out here. We're going to work out a deal with you so that we keep you quiet, all right? You're going to get a reduced sentence. It's not going to be the greatest reduced sentence, but it's going to be reduced. You're going to take that. And you're going to be happy with it, okay? Thank you. And they're going to pack up their little briefcase and they're going to walk out in their power suit, walking out the damn place. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's what I'm predicting. I could be wrong, but I feel like we're going into a dead end. We're not going towards something that's going to be like, oh, she knows it all, and here's all the names. Nope. This is the only reason why they're going face to face with her. The only reason why they're going tete-a-tete with her right now or soon is to basically say, we still own you. Doesn't matter if you got a list. We're going to have you shut the hell up. We'll give you the reduced sentence. But what we're going to say out here to the public is because she has a point that she shouldn't be locked up for so long, because if there's no list, then what crimes did she commit, right? See, that's what's going to happen here. Wait for it. Wait for it. And then she'll still be in there. And then they'll try to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at the general public to get our minds off the Epstein list. But I'm telling you right now, like he just said, like this reporter just said, this is not going to stop us from talking about it. It's not going to stop us from asking questions and demanding the truth. But this is the avenue they're going to try to go down. And then they're going to lean hard on the damn Demis. It's all the Democrats, Russia, all that stuff. They're going to use all that crap to try to filter the issue so that eventually we get our minds off of it. Or I believe that they believe that the more times they say it's the Democrats, it's them making up all these things, it's Russia, that eventually his followers and his hardcore supporters are going to literally go, yeah, it's the Democrats. It's all their fault. At some point, right now they're mad, but soon they'll get tired of being mad. And they're going to sit there and go, nope, you know what? He's right. Nope, it's the Democrats. It's those damn Demi Moores. F them all. They did it all. And it's all their fault. Blame it on them. Blame it on the Dems. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the vibe I'm getting. But again, I've been a million times wrong, a million times.
We've also learned, Aaron, that the House will wait to vote on a resolution calling for the release of more Epstein files. Congressman Tim Burchett joined the Takeout with Major Garrett last night to discuss whether the administration has met the demands of the Transparency Act. I'm going to play a little bit of that.
Hold on. We're going to stop right there because this is where it gets very weird. So I'm going to pause that for a second. Okay. We're going to pause that for a second. We're going to come back to that because things have gotten even more weird. Okay. Like I said, the theme or the magic word of the show today is weird. Okay. A couple weeks ago, it was quinquennial. So today it's just a simple one syllable word, weird. Okay. Some more information. So Trump is having meetings, doing his thing, and he gets asked live about the DOJ meeting up with Ghislaine Maxwell. And his reaction here is something else. Take a look at this.
Mr. President, do you support the Justice Department seeking an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell? And do you urge the Attorney General to seek?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
They're going to, your Deputy Attorney General has reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
Do you have any
That didn't look a little weird, don't you? That didn't look a little weird? That didn't look a little weird?
Attorney General to seek?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
They're going to, your Deputy Attorney General has reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General, as your former attorney, would be conducting the interview, given?
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt.
Okay. You heard that, right? You heard that, right? He even said, I'm not really following that stuff anymore. I don't really follow it anymore. Now it's just, a big old witch hunt. Huge witch hunt. But explain this to me. It wasn't a witch hunt before when you used it during your campaign for re-election. When you were throwing people of the likes of Clinton and other people under the bus, talking about this island and the jet and the planes and these littles, these young girls, etc. Saying we must get that stuff out here. We must get the truth on that. And then, like I said, when it comes to 0 hour, now I've moved on. I got better things to do. I don't understand why everybody's worried about this. We're just going to continue moving. It seems so strange to me that you have people out here that are not willing to look at the BS that is being thrown out at us right now. And you can see this BS from space. This is not even done. This is not even being done in a covert and smart way. They truly believe that the American people are that dumb. That's what I'm seeing right now. With all due respect, I think they're literally going, wow, we can fool them all. Let's just fool them. And you can see it from so far away. You're like, that's not even real. You need to stop. This is Carl, it's very sloppy, messy work. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely sloppy, messy work. And there are some people that are just believing what is being given to them, what's being on display. And it's like, we can see it from so far that this is BS. And yet, like I said, people are scared of getting out of that realm of complacency. That's what I truly think. That's what I truly think. They say TDS on people who are not Trump supporters. But what's the syndrome for the Trump supporters that just are not willing to see outside of themselves, right? just for a second and just say, yeah, this is out of pocket, y'all. Nah, this ain't right. This just ain't right. That's just me. More things have gotten weird. And we got to talk about that here too. This all has to do with, actually, let me pull this up before I forget. Actually, there's a few things. Actually, before we even go to that main topic or that main pivot. So real quick, what was it? Here it is, I think. Okay. One thing that is very, very strange to me, okay, is that even his MAGA-based supporters, even the people within MAGA, it's starting to implode. Real talk, it's really starting to implode. This is someone I have not said, this is someone's name I have not said on this show in a very, very long time. She goes by MTG. She's also known as Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the biggest MAGA supporters, okay? One of the biggest supporters of Trump. And then later, she has gotten into her feelings about this whole Epstein list, and she has some things to say about this whole situation as well. So much that she's like, well, we just need to get into it, okay? We're just going to go into some of these key facts here. Let's take a look. This is crazy, okay? This is her tweeting things since Monday. So you must take down every enemy of the people. If not, the base will turn and there's no going back. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying in regards to this whole Epstein file debacle. Of all people. Let me just remind you, she is MAGA as MAGA can be. All right? Someone said she's a handsome woman. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, that just took me out. Okay, moving on. Okay. Regardless of where you stand with her, okay? The fact that she is turning on her own leader is insane. Okay? And yeah, even Laura Loomer or Laura Loomer is turning on Trump as well. It is getting diabolical. So the tweet came after Trump last week instructed the Justice Department to release grand jury testimony in its Epstein probe in an apparent attempt to placate critics revolting against the agency's decision not to release any more information. Yeah, and it gets weirder. Like I said, we're going to be talking about that. So Marjorie Taylor Greene said, okay, Greene said, dangling bits of red meat no longer satisfies. They want the whole steak dinner and will accept nothing else, she wrote. And she, of course, did not name Trump, but you know who she's talking about. Okay? You know exactly who she's talking about. So the backlash on the right continues 2 weeks after the Justice Department released a memo saying it wouldn't reveal any additional details on the investigation. And as Trump has sought to detract from the backlash and urge his supporters to stop talking about Epstein. But you know how it is. As soon as they say, stop talking about Epstein, people are going to start talking even more about Epstein. You're going to sit there and say, don't look down. Someone's going to look down. Don't touch that red button. They're going to touch that red button. It's inevitable. Okay? It's inevitable. But you got someone, the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? Miss CrossFit USA, okay? Even coming out and saying, I've had enough, and the people have had enough. And she's one of the most vocal of the MAGA. Here's the thing, too, though. And I said this before. This is an opportunity for any person that's on the MAGA side to start stepping forward a little bit more. Why? Because eventually Trump won't be president after his term, unless something crazy happens and he gets to do a third run for a third term, which I highly doubt. But again, someone has to take over take the torch and run with it. Excuse me, and run with it. And this little hole, okay, this little hole in the MAGA wall, pun intended, is an opportunity for somebody to slip through that hole and go, keep following me now. He's messing up. Follow me. You got to understand, this is an opportunity to step forward just a little bit. Okay? Just a little bit. Because 4 years is going to be here and be gone very, very fast. And somebody else, okay, is going to have to step forward and lead the MAGAteers. Think about that. And I'm not sitting here saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene is the person who's going to be doing that, but you clearly can see a lot of opportunity here, right? Hardcore MAGAteers, hardcore MAGA supporters are pissed. They're pissed, y'all. And they're all starting to voice their opinion. And they're also starting to realize that their leader, oh my dear God, is actually not a deity. He is not even a demigod. He's a human being that can also lie, that can also make mistakes. And that's at least what I'm seeing right now. And when you see someone of the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who would literally drink Trump's bathwater, literally hot and still with him in it as he's still scrubbing his balls, okay? The fact that she's stepping out and saying these things, insane. Absolutely insane, in my personal opinion, okay? Now, real quick. Yes, I said scrubbing his balls, still scrubbing them after running a marathon. Okay? Just nothing but just straight up Famunda cheese. She would be just drinking that ish all day. Because at one point, his ish did not stink for her. But now, she is pissed. Now, there is something else. Hold on. One more thing before we continue on that I do want to share with y'all before we get into the weird stuff that's very strange that's going on. So, reporter was asking Caroline Levitt, okay? Caroline, all right. So anyway, and I'm going to tell you right now, she looks tired. It's probably because she can't stand lying about this stuff anymore. I'm being real. She just looks tired. But let's move on. This is what a reporter asked before we go into the video. So she says, the reporter asked, there are reports FBI agents are going through the Epstein files, okay? And they're being told to actually flag any time that President Trump's name appears in the files. Is that something that the president is aware of or that he directed? And then she just says, I don't believe that was something that the White House was aware of. You would have to ask the FBI. She literally deflects and throws it over to the FBI. I'm telling you right now, she has not been playing this card, or she has not been very comfortable in this particular role. Look at it. Okay? Like, she does not look, I don't know. I do believe that there are good people out here. And some of the people that are working for Trump, I truly believe that they're saying things that they don't want to say. Like, it's like, okay, it's my responsibility to deflect and lie to the American people. Yikes. That can really put a toll on somebody. Real talk. Doesn't matter if you're a hardcore supporter of the person that you are, of your boss, right? She just looks like Debbie, like she aged like 20 years in the last 2 weeks. Okay. She ain't having it. Yeah, thank you. She looks tired of lying. That's what it looks like to me.
There are reports that President Trump or the FBI agents going through the Epstein files were told to flag President Trump's name if it came up. Is that something the president was aware of, or something that he directed those agents or the Department of Justice to do?
I don't believe that's something the White House was aware of. You'd have to ask the FBI.
She ain't having it. Like I said, it's like, okay, deflect. And of course, she's like, I'm just so tired of answering these questions. I'm tired of lying. Okay. That's what I truly think. But, maybe she's that brainwashed too, that she just thinks that Trump, whatever Trump says is the truth. You never know. Like I said, there's people out here that are just so hardcore supportive that they don't even look and realize that the person that they're supporting is still a human being, that person's still going to lie. That person still they still have a capacity to lie. How's that? Okay. They still have the capacity and the ability to lie because they are still human. Sorry, not sorry. But this woman looks tired of lying, in my personal opinion. Okay. Now, what was I? I was going to pull up. Sorry, just closing up some windows here really quick. I thought I had it up. Nope, I didn't. So let's take a look at the. So this is what was retweeted. What we just talked about in the article earlier. Okay, this is from Todd Blanche. Okay, the deputy AG. Okay, so and this was of course reposted by Attorney General Pam Bondi. All right. The Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead. The joint statement by the DOJ and FBI of July 6 remains as accurate today as it was when it was written. So they're still leaning on the fact that there is no list. Just so you know, they've gone back to they've resorted back to zero. They've resorted back to statement number one. And the statement is there is no list. So they're saying there is no list. And we're going to stick with that. Yeah. Keep with that because that's a good look. Let's keep with that. Namely, that in the recent thorough review of the files maintained by the FBI in the Epstein case, no evidence was uncovered that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say. This looks sloppy. Therefore, at the direction of Attorney General Bondi, I have communicated with counsel for Ms. Maxwell to determine whether she would be willing to speak with prosecutors from the department. I anticipate meeting with Ms. Maxwell in the coming days. Until now, no administration on behalf of the department had inquired about her willingness to meet with the government. And of course, that changes now. Now, here's the thing. Here's the other thing too. Yeah. Wait, I thought this whole thing was a hoax, right? So now, like I said, they're doing everything they can to try to look as good as possible in front of the general public, in front of their MAGA supporters, in front of the court of public opinion. But at the end of the day, they still look like Boo Boo the Fool with their pants on the ground because they look sloppy and it looks like they're all over the place and that there's no organization at all, even within their ranks. You realize that, right? This looks absolutely sloppy and embarrassing all at the same damn time. And I hope I'm not the only one who's seeing this. Then also, I'm going to say this too. This is also representation of how they're running our country at the same time. Oh God, I don't want to say that out loud, but I just did. It's not good, guys. It's no bueno. It's no bueno. No bueno. Now, we got a few more things. Hold on. Let me get some of these super chats here really quick. New Life Plan, thank you so much for the love. I only want to DOJ. I only want DOJ or anyone in the administration to meet G, unless it's live streamed. Ooh, no more closed door. No more closed door deals. Sorry, brah. You know what? Interesting. Interesting. That's very interesting. I would love for that to happen, but we're never going to get that. Nah, we're not going to get that. It's just like that In Vogue song, okay? Never going to get it, 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 we're never going to get it. But that'd be nice. That'd be nice, you know? Wilder things have happened. Jasmine, thank you so much for being a member for the past 9 months. Thank you, Pascal, for keeping us in the know and entertained. Oh, you know what? Like I said, are you not entertained? By the way, if you are entertained and informed, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. That'll be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, please. Okay? That would be dope as hell. Let's get back over here. Nurse for God. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And then Happy Days, what's up? Thank you so much. I'd trust the list if it came from TMZ before I trust it coming from. Oh my God, that is a statement. That is a statement. Okay. She should have sold the story /list last week. Use that money for legal fees. You know what? You ain't wrong with that. You are not wrong with that, okay? Shoot, get some better deals, get a lawyer, sell the story, make a couple mil while you're still locked up, because eventually she's gonna get out, right? If she's still alive by that time, maybe she'll be able to use that money, right? Or take that money and put it towards some organizations for children or people that have been moved. Real talk. Take that money and do something positive with it for something that you are a reason for a lot of people's turmoil and trauma. Just saying, you know, take that money and try to use it in some sort of positive way. Not go and buy your own private yacht, okay, or your own freaking island so you can go run off out there when you finally get free. You see what I'm saying? At least that's what you would hope, right? Excuse me. But moving on. There's something I wanted to show to you guys real quick. It's the Benny Show too, right? Okay. So like I said, weird stuff is going on. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Some weird stuff is going on, guys. Some really weird stuff is going on. And there was a conversation on the Benny Show that Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, had with Benny of the Benny Show, right? Now I'm trying to find the doggone conversation that he had, because for some weird reason, it doesn't exist anymore, which is also very interesting. Hold on. Well, we can use this. That's fine. We're going to use this. Now, I want you guys to know that when I first heard this, I believed him. I truly did. House Speaker Mike Johnson breaks his silence on his thoughts on the whole Epstein file situation. Don't worry, we're going somewhere with this. This is where it gets weird. And this is just most recent, okay? And we need to hear some of this. So let's take a listen.
I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it.
We should put everything out there. That's what he said. Very interesting, right? He also called for the Attorney General Pam Bondi to explain the alleged existence of a client list.
Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, that were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
So again, he's like, this stuff needs to be unearthed. We need transparency. We need the proof. We need the truth. And then guess what happened today? Guess what happened freaking today? Speaker of the House, House Speaker Mike Johnson, shuts the doors on the House weeks before they're supposed to go on vacations, weeks before they're supposed to be shutting down, ahead of them actually voting and making the decision on whether they're going to release the mother-loving Epstein files. I'm not kidding, guys. Let me explain to you how weird this is, okay? And you know what, Guillotine? You ain't wrong. I agree. If there's something in those laptops, let them all out. If there's anything that we don't know about, that we need to know about, put it out there. I don't care, okay? But honestly, they've been talking about Epstein for the longest time. And then when it was time to get things going, they said it doesn't exist. Then they said, oh, we're going to get down to the bottom of it. At least that's what we are now hearing right now. They have resorted back to square one, saying that the list does not exist and that they believe that Ghislaine is the only one holding the information, holding the tea, okay? Holding all the info, right? We heard Mike Johnson himself say, yeah, we need to know this stuff. The people deserve to know. We don't need those things exposed. And truthfully, why hasn't it been put out? It's been weeks now. It's weird, right? But then now we see this. Johnson, same guy you just heard, shuts the door on a House vote before September on releasing the Epstein files. Why would he suddenly do that? Doesn't that make him look even more like a fool? Doesn't that make it look even more suspicious? When he's on interviews saying, yep, put it out. Let it all out. We need to know. We need to mother loving know. And then he shuts it down before September. We're not even in August, baby. It's July 22nd, guys. It's July 22nd in the year of our Lord 2025, in case you didn't know. And for those of y'all who just came out of a coma, here's the thing. Why would he shut the doors down? Why would he shut the doors? 5 weeks? 5 weeks before they're supposed to literally shut down the doors? Why would they do that? Like I said, things are getting weird. Speaker Mike Johnson on Monday said he does not plan to allow votes on any measures related to the Jeffrey Epstein case in the House's final week in Washington before a weeks-long recess, despite intense pressure from some of his own GOP members to go on the record on the actual issue. Some of President Trump's most loyal supporters in Congress have been pressing party leaders to allow for a vote to show they support transparency around the Epstein saga, an issue that continues to animate the MAGA base, even as Trump has repeatedly sought to blame the damn Demis for fanning the flames, which he's been fanning these doggone flames. It's not him. It's not the Democrats. It's him. It's his people around him. He's been fanning the flames for the longest time, but now he doesn't want to take the responsibility of it. Like I said, make it make sense. Moving on, the House forcing the Trump administration to turn over material against its will would represent a remarkable rebuke of the president by his base. But the push has shown a little forward momentum among the party's leadership on Capitol Hill. Like I said, well, there's no list, but we're gonna go talk to Ghislaine eventually. We're gonna go over there and talk to Ghislaine eventually. Eventually we will, because there's no list. And she's the only one with the information, right? But eventually they're gonna do that conversation. They haven't had that conversation yet. They're just about to have that conversation, right? Yeah. Keeping the people at bay, trying to keep them happy, right? It's the carrot and the stick, right? This is straight up the carrot, right? So Johnson told CNN on Monday the full House would not vote on a pending measure from members of his own party, a non-binding resolution calling for the release of additional Epstein files before the chamber's August recess, which is slated to begin at week's end. He shut the doors down now. Why? My belief is we need the administration to have the space to do what it is doing. And if further congressional action is necessary or appropriate, then we'll look at that. But I don't think we're at the point right now because we agree with the president, he said. As part of a deal to approve the White House's rescissions package last week, Johnson reached an accord with GOP holdouts that allowed the House Rules Committee to advance the non-binding resolution calling for Epstein files release. But it's unclear if that measure will take it to the House floor, with Johnson firmly standing behind Trump on the matter. There is no daylight between the House of Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency. This is what Johnson said, adding that Trump wants, quote unquote, all the credible files on Epstein to be released, and asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce grand jury testimony related to the case, and quote unquote, all of that is in process right now. All of it's in process right now. They're in the process of getting this stuff out here, but it's not out here yet. Now, here's the thing. Wouldn't they have already sifted through the crap if that stuff was credible or not credible? Wouldn't they have already thrown the non-credible stuff to the side and stacked everything together in a nice little pile of all the credible stuff? You see what I'm saying? So now they got to sift through all that BS now before they can actually release the files to the public, when that should have already been sifted through. They've been sitting on this information for years, guys. Still, a bipartisan group of House members, led by Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie, is seeking to circumvent Johnson and force a vote on a separate bill calling for the release of the files. Massie will need a majority of House members to sign on what's known as a discharge petition to force a floor vote. That measure wouldn't be considered by the full House until after Labor Day at the earliest if Massie is successful. So weeks from now, if he's lucky. Johnson's leadership team had been privately signaling that they would not bring up any Epstein measures this week. To Republicans familiar with that matter told CNN the article we're reading right now. Let's get over here. Like I said, this is some weird stuff. This is some very, very weird stuff. And they're supposed to be going into a recess here very, very soon. But it's not supposed to be now. But he's shutting the doors. He's like, we'll start the recess early. We'll start the vacations early for everybody. That's what we're going to do. Make that make sense.
Well, I think it's a good start. I don't think you're ever going to get to the bottom of this thing. Just like this town never gives up its secrets very, very quick, or if they do at all.
So where do you think stand on that transparency resolution?
Yeah, this resolution was initially pushed by Democrats on the House Rules Committee to get more information from the Trump administration on the Epstein case, to force them to release more about the flight logs, about internal FBI emails. House Speaker Mike Johnson said that vote won't happen this week and likely won't happen until September at the earliest, due to the upcoming August recess. You've seen a couple Republicans join.
Hold on. I just need to pause that really quick. You hear what I'm saying? They're not saying anything about nothing until September. We got 5+ weeks until the House does anything remotely about the Epstein files. Do you see the timeline here, everybody? Do you see what kind of attempt is happening here? Oh, we're going to eventually talk to Ghislaine. But while we have that going on, we're going to shut the doors on the House really quick. And this, we're going to let it sit for a while. We'll get to it. We'll have the conversation about it. But, right now we got bigger fish to fry. Like, we going to the Hamptons. We going to Hawaii. We got trips to do with our kids before school starts and all that. We got better things to worry about, like school supplies and everything, than to actually release the information while people are hotly demanding this stuff to be revealed. No, we're going to shut all the doors, and we're going to shut the doors to the House for the next several weeks, because eventually y'all will forget this. Or, we'll eventually get to it. Right? That doesn't seem a little odd to you. That don't seem a little odd to you. That don't seem a little odd to you. The answer should be yes. This is very odd. This is odd. Yeah, they're busy going on taking some vacations instead of actually just going in there and going, we're going to do the votes now. Let's just get it over with, blah, blah, blah. It takes 2 seconds to have a convo, baby, to do a vote. Open up the doors, let them do it right before they go on vacation. Who gives a damn? But they, I believe, are delaying this as long as they can because they're hoping that the general public won't care about this anymore by the time we hit Labor Day. And I'm telling you right now, no one's going to forget this. This is still going to be a hot topic. And people are going to be demanding this until they actually give the people what they want.
Join Democrats in that push for more information, but there's been no appetite among House leadership to put a vote on the House floor. There's one Republican, Thomas Massie, who has said that he would procedurally try and force a vote on the House floor through what's known as a, quote, discharge petition. But that would require approval from a majority of the House of Representatives, which as of now seems unlikely.
All right, there's another major headline that we're following. The president is set to meet with the president of the Philippines today.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now, again, crazy stuff, okay? It's crazy stuff. We got to take a look at this too. This is from Breaking Points, a show on YouTube. I listen to their stuff from time to time. But I'm going to speed it up really quick a little bit. And they're, of course, talking about this situation as well. Again, this seems very strange that the classic one, like they're scurrying off like roaches as soon as you turn the lights on, right? They just start scurrying everywhere. And you're like, whoa, that's a whole lot of pests in one room. They don't want to talk about this. They suddenly don't want this to be revealed. Yet you have Mike Johnson on the Benny Show saying, yeah, we need truth. We need the stuff out here, and the people deserve that information. They need that, and they deserve that transparency. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, we're shutting the doors until September. Yeah, we won't be able to. Yeah, oh, darn. Oh, look at the time. Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't have time. It's closing time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We can't do the Epstein vote right now. My kid, I gotta. See, that's my kid calling. Hi, honey, yep, I'm right. I'm on the way. Yeah. So sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. As he's shutting the doors to the damn house, right? Closing time, I know who I want to take me home. It's closing time. Okay? You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? That's what they're basically saying right now, especially with the Epstein files. They're like, oops, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, we got like 30 seconds, though. It's closing. I'm so sorry. I got to close the doors. Golly. Next time. That's what's happening right now. Okay? Crazy.
Turning now to Epstein, a story which I will handle myself, which, of course, if any other time and I had to speak entirely on Epstein, I'd be happy to. But when you're sick, man, it's a tough thing. All right, let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen from Pam Bondi. So this is breaking news as of right now, and there's actually a lot to say here. This is a new statement from the Deputy Attorney General, Dodd Blanche. The Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths nor from the responsibility to pursue justice where the facts may lead.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because we've already read that part, okay?
Directly with Ghislaine Maxwell and her legal team. That's number one. That almost never happens, just so you know. The Deputy Attorney General, literally the number two, is going to be meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. Number two, according to the Deputy Attorney General in that statement, he is saying at no point has the government ever approached Ghislaine Maxwell to say, what do you know about third-party individuals? Are you guys hearing that? So according to this statement, what they are saying is that Ghislaine Maxwell went to trial, right? Obviously, she lost there. She was prosecuted for human trafficking victims, specifically to Jeffrey Epstein. Many, including myself, said that the charges were tailored in such a way to only implicate her and Epstein, to put her in jail for the rest of her life so we can all just move on from it. And that at no point was there ever an opportunity for some of the broader conspiracy to be able to come out. In this, what they are saying, though, is that Maxwell was never given that opportunity to actually come forward. I want to continue, though, and this is part of the reason why we should all be a little bit skeptical, is unfortunately with Ghislaine Maxwell, she has a lot of incentive now at this point, and for us to be able to be a little skeptical of what she has to say. Here's a statement from her attorney this morning. Quote, I can confirm that we are in discussions with the government and that Ghislaine will always testify truthfully. We are grateful to President Trump for his commitment to uncovering the truth in this case. She also says before, remember she was seeking a pardon, quote, he's the ultimate deal maker. This is about Trump. I'm sure he'd agree that when the United States gives its word, it should keep it. With all the talk about who's being prosecuted and who isn't, it's especially unfair. Ghislaine Maxwell remains in prison based on a promise the U.S. government made and broke. What she's referring to, guys, is, according to her, what's so unjust is, remember that non-prosecution agreement that Epstein entered into in 2007? That covered the immunity for Epstein and for Ghislaine Maxwell, an unindicted co-conspirator in the case. Her position is that that illegal non-prosecution agreement, according to the court, because it violated the victim's rights, then should have given her immunity for all time, and that the government broke its word by offering the sketchy deal to Epstein in the first place, just so we don't all think Ghislaine Maxwell is necessarily a hero. But here's the question. How much of this is real and how much of it is controlled?
That's the question I'd like to know. And notice that he kind of chuckled when Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney actually gave Trump some love, right? Like, oh, thanks to the Trump administration and Trump for doing this, and this, for having this whole thing get set up and everything. Let me just be real, y'all. Okay, this is just so messy. This is so beyond messy that this is absolutely 110% a reflection on how our administration is handling anything. Now, I get it. There's a lot of people. No, that's not him talking at his normal speed. I sped it up a little bit because I'm trying to cover a lot in a very short amount of time. And don't get me wrong. I understand that there's a lot of information out here. There are a lot of good things that are happening right now. For the country, there's a lot of money that apparently, a lot of money is flowing and a lot of good things are happening as well, which is great. But as far as outside of that, this is not very good. Okay. This is getting very sloppy. And this is a representation of the leadership that we have in the White House. Now you got them, like you see down below, his lower third says White House points blame at FBI for Epstein cover-up. What? Like, what is going on here, guys? It's just so strange. And it's like, well, what is the truth? Just give us all the truth. Give us all the information in one sitting, rather than going through and just constantly going, no, it's him. No, it's him. Now it's him. No, it's his fault. No, it's his fault too. This is his fault. You know what I mean? It's so distracting and so messed up that it starts the speculation train, okay? And it starts the side eyes. And it starts the people who are non-believers. Because if they were to actually show truthfully the list and all the files, all of them, it's so mucked up now that there's going to be so many people out here side-eyeing everything that is being presented by at least the Trump administration. You understand that, right? This has become so murky. The water is so cloudy now. We don't know what is truth and what is not. This is not how the Trump administration should be looked at. This is not how the legacy that he wants to leave behind, this is not what he wants as his legacy. This is not how he wants it. At least, I mean, I can't speak for him, okay? But at the same time, this does not help the situation at all. It makes it worse.
And we really, trust? Because let's imagine this scenario. Maxwell comes and meets with the government. The government says, okay, let's make a deal, and a deal for what though? And to what purpose? Because at this point, I think not just Trump, but a lot of other powerful people have a lot of incentive for Maxwell to say, I didn't know anything about anybody broader, powerful people. It was just me and Jeffrey. That
I agree.
That actually is what you would want to say right now to get a sweetheart deal. No, from the Deputy Attorney General, from the Trump administration. If you start implicating all kinds of, quote, third-party individuals, then things get a little bit complicated. And then what the government can say is, look, we went to Ghislaine. We offered her a deal. She told us it was only her and Jeffrey. It's not a full-fledged, quote, investigation because it doesn't follow any of the money. It doesn't look at any of the intelligence connections. The things that I've detailed now on this show and on other shows now for weeks, specifically about Epstein, the sources of his wealth, Leslie Wexner, about Ehud Barak, Leon Black, what was going on with this 1.4 billion in suspicious activity reports coming in and out of Epstein-related accounts from 4 different financial institutions. So there is a high chance of a cover-up, actually, in the way that this is all being conducted, and possibly even on the way to a pardon, because
this is and that would be wild if she got a pardon. Do you understand that would? I'm telling you right now. I'm going to say right now. Okay, first off, yes, actually, let me rewind what he said real quick.
At this point, if you're Ghislaine,
hold on.
For weeks, specifically about Epstein, the sources of his wealth, Leslie Wexner, about Ehud Barak, Leon Black, what was going on with this 1.4 billion in suspicious activity reports coming in and out of Epstein-related accounts from 4 different financial institutions. So there is a high chance of a cover-up, actually, in the way that this is all being conducted. And
there we go. There's a high chance of a cover-up, which clearly we're seeing in real time. If they're going to sit there and say, oh, it's their fault, no, it's the Demis. It's the Democrats' faults. Oh, it's the FBI. No, it's this person. No, it's that person. It's this department. It's that department. By them going around and just pointing blame at everybody, definitely this is a cover-up. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You look at all the history of the nasty things and the wild things that have been said, Trump has said, and all these things. You never know now. You never know. Because it's now so murky. Like I said, everything's so murky because they just literally threw a rock in the damn thing, a massive boulder into this situation, and all the dirt that was on the bottom of that swamp or the bottom of that river has now, or pond, lake, whatever you want to call it, has now just come up. And now all the water, you can't see not even inches in front of your feet, in front of your face. Okay? It's that bad. Now, let me just say this, because he said something about pardoning.
Possibly even on the way to a pardon, because at this point, if you're Ghislaine and you're looking at the conduct of the Trump administration, would it really behoove you to implicate a bunch of third-party individuals, or would it be better for you at this point to say, actually, it was just me and Jeffrey. Everything else is just completely, everything else is a, quote, conspiracy theory. My father was never a Mossad asset, even though he got a state funeral in Israel, and we can all just move on very carefully.
Now, if she was to get a pardon, let me tell you right now, he would literally be nuking his entire MAGA base, his entire MAGA support system, his entire legacy would be destroyed if he was to pardon Maxwell. I'm telling you right now, that would be detrimental to the whole MAGA movement. consider it dead on arrival. Okay? If he was to do that. You don't see how many people are angry. Even the people who are sitting there going like, fine, there's no list, let's move on, right? Well, there's no list, it's fake news. Okay, fine, let's move on. Do you understand how many people would be so angry if there was information that flood out here saying that Ghislaine Maxwell, the Robin to Jeffrey Epstein's demonic, disgusting Batman, the fact that they even got the information out there that she was pardoned, people would lose their minds. In fact, I think people would take that situation to the streets, because you're not talking about let me just say this. People are forgetting the real reason why we're all here talking about this. And it's truly about getting the information out there to expose the disgusting individuals that have done things to littles, to all the survivors out there, that there is a dark underbelly out here that is doing all this stuff, that there's some sort of disgusting ring of people that are privileged enough to have financial freedom, that are in the realm of the 1% of the 1%ers, or whatever the hell you want to call them, okay? And the fact that they're still out here breathing in this freedom should piss the F out of every single last one of y'all. Because like I said, and I've said it a million times before, if this was your kid, if this was your loved one, if this was your sister, your relative, whatever, your friend, you'd want justice as badly and as swiftly as possible. But the fact that they are continuing to protect this disgusting ring, whoever they may be, is disgusting and extremely disturbing. And if she was to get pardoned, that would be diabolical, y'all. That would literally have people losing their freaking minds in the streets. This would augment the problem if they were to do that, okay? This would augment the problem. So I urge them not to do that. I could see them cutting her a deal, giving her a few years off or something of that sort. But pardoning her would be absolutely detrimental to the MAGA movement in general. People are already burning his hats out here, okay? They're burning his hats. They're burning his merch. So a lot of people are saying he's not my president anymore. People are all out there saying, I regret electing him, right? I regret voting for him, all that stuff. He is destroying his legacy bit by bit, and it's not good. And if he was to pardon this woman that was also the bride of Frankenstein, you know what I'm saying? This would be very, very bad. I hope that never happens, but you never know. Anything can happen over the next couple of weeks.
So that's something very important to say. There's a second very interesting clip here from Tim Dillon, who has revealed now to Alex Jones that he recently had dinner last week with J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, and that the vice president told Tim Dillon that all of the, quote, thousands of hours of footage was just personal pornography for Jeffrey Epstein's personal use, and it didn't implicate anybody powerful. Here's what he had to say.
Hold on. That it was just for his spank bank, y'all. Okay? Literally that. So now we got, we got Alex Jones. Alex Jones. Okay? We're going to talk about gay frogs. Let's move on.
Trump administration have been heavily implicated. I'm not going to name names. And so you nailed it when you brought up Netanyahu. So let me, if you've got time here.
We have all the time in the world. I just want to add, when Bondi said we have 10,000 hours of video, she said we have 10,000 hours of video. I had dinner last week with the vice president. He told me that was commercial pornography. They do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line that they're going with. If that's the case, why would Pam Bondi call it evidence? Why would she say it's evidence? She's not an idiot. She's the attorney general. Why would she say she has files on her desk if none of these implicated anybody? It just feels like they're covering something for sure.
So there you go.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those things. I'm telling you right now, that doesn't make any sense. You're sitting there saying, oh, I'm looking at all the files. I have nothing but evidence. It's nothing but CP, disgusting CP. But now you're saying, you're hearing from Tim Dillon. I don't know if you know who Tim Dillon is, but he's like a comedian. Now he has his own podcast. You know, it's a very Joe Rogan type approach, okay? But at the same time, he's saying that he had dinner with the vice president, which is wild that he had dinner with the vice president, but okay. And he's basically saying that the information or the footage that they had wasn't of that kind. It didn't show any celebrities or any names or anything of that sort. It was just content made by Epstein for his own enjoyment, literally like he made his own disgusting freak off tapes, right? That doesn't make any sense. If you're sitting there saying, oh yeah, got all this evidence, all the footage, etc. It's so damning. Can't believe it's even real. Can't show you guys that stuff because it's CP and God forbid, I don't want to see it. So I get it. Okay. But at the same time, for them to sit there and try to change the narrative and for it to say something else is ridiculous. Okay. This is very, very bad. Okay. Very bad. But the cover up, it's definitely, we're seeing it in real time, guys. It's wild. It's kind of like we're seeing, it's like as if we're like on a space station, okay? And we're up there, we're enjoying ourselves, eating the nasty, MREs and the gruel and the oatmeal and floating around and enjoying ourselves. But we're looking down at our big, beautiful blue ball, right? Which is Earth. You disturbing little individuals. But here it is, this beautiful big marble, right? We're looking down. But as we're watching and looking at the Earth, they start nuking each other just out of nowhere. And we're just seeing it all go down. We can't do anything about it, but we're seeing it, and we're seeing the flames engulf the entire globe. This is exactly how we're seeing this situation with this Epstein list and the Epstein debacle. It's slowly doing this. They're trying to do as much as they can to cover this stuff up. And we're literally like going, no, don't close. You know what I mean? They're doing everything they can to push the narrative into something that it's not. And we're just sitting there watching it in real time. And what's sad is we're sitting here saying it out loud. Stop. And they just continue pushing and trying to cover up this situation. And they're trying to speed up the cover up even as fast as they can, because clearly we're getting too smart. But what's really frustrating about this is I have yet to really see a real reaction. I've yet to see a real guttural reaction from the people. I'm talking about the public. You could be angry and pissed off all day long. I get that. You could say these things within the confines of your friends and all that. But at the same time, I'm not seeing many people talking about this outside of the internet, taking this to their, to media, to, you know what I mean? Really making a big deal about this, because this is bad. This is very bad. And then instantly it makes you wonder, what else could they be covering up? Real talk. Sorry, but that's the bed that they freaking made now. Black Anonymous, what up? Thank you so much for the love. Pardoning Maxwell or having her testify before Congress spells disaster for POTUS. He's backed into a corner either way. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I still err on the side of, I still question whether or not he is definitely in the files or not. Because I mean, in my mind, I'm like, you can't be that dumb. You can't be that dumb to suddenly say everything that he's been saying during his election campaigns, during his first term. If you knew that your name was all up in those files, right? You can't be that dumb and keep pushing that. And then finally you go, oh, wait. So my name is in the list for real? Okay, and then none of this exists. It doesn't exist. No. It doesn't exist. It just blows my mind that someone could be that gone. Like I just don't see him being that gone. You see what I'm saying? I just don't see him being that gone, but I could be wilder things have happened, has it not? Right? So again, that's just a strange thing, and everything that's going on right now, revolving around this is weird. It's weird, and it's extremely frustrating because we deserve as much truth as we can. The cover-up we are seeing in real time. And what's so frustrating about this, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. There's nothing we can do about it because we don't have the power. We don't have the access to those files. Pam Bondi does. A whole bunch of people in the DOJ does. They all know the truths. But they're just running with a narrative that does not exist. Okay? It's really sad, y'all. This is really, really sad because instantly I worry and think about solely about the kids. Or now, of course, they're grown, but the women that were moved around, that were taken advantage of, all of those victims, they deserve the transparency and the justice, but we're not getting it right now. And again, I guess the burning question is, are we ever really going to get it? It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Just Me, thank you so much for the love. I really do appreciate the super sticker. Thank you so much. Oh boy. Oh boy. It don't stop, y'all. It just don't stop. And I don't think people are going to I just don't think people are really going to be moving on from this as easily as they say that they're going to. I think there's too many people just angry about this situation. And in fact, I need to pull this up here really quick. Fabulous. Thank you so much for being a member for over 2 years. We had the same kind of thing going on in Belgium 20 years ago. We still don't know the truth. See what I'm saying? And that happened in Belgium. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because here's the thing. Okay, Nicole Harris just said this, and I'm bringing this back up because there's still a latter part here that I want to talk about here or show you guys. So Nicole Harris, I'm worried about the kids, but also these reports of Epstein stealing our pensions. Now I'm wondering about Bitcoin and GME shorts. Yeah, I'm wondering that too now that you talked about that. The money laundering is way bigger. Yeah, that's something that's interesting as well, because I'm just starting to get savvy to crypto and Bitcoin. You know, I've been looking into it just to, see if it's something to get into, that kind of thing. Just trying to get and understand what's going on. But if there's some other deeper stuff that's going on like that, that's insane, right? Not only just human beings, but the money as well. That's insane. That'd be wild. But again, I don't know what's going on. It seems so strange. And again, people at this level of power, just some people shouldn't have this kind of power, guys. Let me play this here.
Head of the forthcoming August recess, effectively shutting down any potential vote on the Epstein files going forward because he wants to trust the government. Here's what he had to say.
Here's what I would say about the Epstein files. There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency. He has said He wants all the credible files related to Epstein to be released. He's asked the Attorney General to request the grand jury files of the court. All of that is in process right now. My belief is we need the administration to have the space to do what it is doing. And if further congressional action is necessary or appropriate, then we'll look at that. But I don't think we're at that point right now because we agree with the president.
I'm telling you right now, he said we need to get this stuff out here. And now he's saying, oh, yeah, whatever the White House is doing, they're doing great. And I agree with them all day long. What are you talking about, bro? Real talk. The hell are you freaking talking about?
Let's look at that very, very carefully. So he says specifically that he will not shut down any vote on the Epstein files because he wants to, quote, allow the administration the space to deal with. The space to deal with what? To release the files that you allegedly support? No. Or to not release all the files. Or to say that only it's the credible evidence or the, the stuff that is pertinent. And these are all the terms and the definitions of things that matter when you're not actually committed to releasing all the information that you literally said that you would do if you were elected president. And that's really what gets it all down to it. And
again, how convenient that the House is going to be shutting their doors right when they're supposed to be making a decision on whether or not to release these Epstein files. Let me just remind you guys, just last week, they got into a room and the House Republicans voted against releasing the Epstein files. Let me repeat that again. The House of Republicans voted against releasing the Epstein files. Literally, it split the room almost. It was like 55 to 45%, right? Which is insane, right? It was like 11 to 10 votes, that kind of thing. 11 votes to 10 votes. It was literally like down to a hair. Republicans were trying to block this information. And now we're back at that same situation all over again. You got a dude who's straight up saying live in interviews, and I still am wondering if that interview is even still up, unless he took it down. I don't know. But, Benny Show, Mike Johnson. I'm still wondering if that's still up. I'm sure it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Oh, shoot. And he even put it up on his own. He even put this doggone thing up on his own.
Mike Johnson, who is here right now.
Oh, my dear God. He even put it up on his own channel. Real talk, right here. This is Mike Johnson's own YouTube channel. So he even put it up on his own channel, y'all. Okay? Crappy, very crappy quality. But he took it and he put it on his own channel. Talking about this whole thing. And then as soon as he realizes, okay, we're venturing into like a little bit of a break for the House. We got things going on. Let's just shut it down. Let's just close doors early so that they have no say on what's going on. That is just insane. Do you understand? That is just absolutely insane. Of course, that's Benny. That's Benny from the Benny Show. But that is Mike Johnson right there talking about the Epstein freaking files. We saw the video. We saw a clip of it. And then now he is shutting things down, not allowing them to put a vote on whether or not this stuff should be exposed to the public. And they're saying, nope, we won't get to that vote until for another 6 weeks. When we get there, we'll get there, but not right now. Why are they doing that? To me, it looks like we are watching 4D chess. And 4D chess, like that whole saying about 4D chess, he's playing 4D chess. We're not supposed to know the moves, but for some weird reason, we're seeing the 4D chess moves before they even make the moves in 4D chess. Do you understand how bad that is? That's really bad, y'all. It's really bad. Jaded, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. So again, guys, this is all extremely bad for the administration. This is a bad look for the administration. Thank you, Blue Muse. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for this super sticker. I appreciate it. 5D chess. Yeah, 5D chess. You know what I mean? Like, this is really, 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 really weird. Like I said, that is the code word or the magical word for the day, okay? And I don't know if it's ever going to go back to being normal ever again. I don't know, y'all. Something rotten in Denmark for sure. And I wish this was a different situation. I really, really wish it was a different situation. Because these kids or these victims, okay, because obviously they're now all grown women now, but they were kids at one moment. You know, these victims deserve the justice. And let me tell you this too. Even while we're talking about this right now, this is going to probably trip you out, but even while we're talking about this right now, one of those people that was involved or, you know, worked closely with Jeffrey Epstein in the past is still doing it to this day. They're probably doing it right now. And that's very disturbing. Well, we're going to see what happens here, guys. But that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. We'll be having conversations here very, very soon. Okay? We'll be having conversations here very, very soon. There's a lot to talk about. All right? So be on the lookout for some new info and more conversations. But before you leave, hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. Of course, don't forget to subscribe here on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. Go to my third channel, okay? It's called Pascal Raw. Brand new show, okay? Brand new podcast. Go check it out. Subscribe over there as well. Hit that subscription. Hit that notification bell so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. That'd be greatly appreciated, okay? Of course, hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. All right? But anyway, guys, it's time to get going. We're going to keep our eyes on this whole situation. But of course, there's more conversations that we're going to be having here in the very near future. So we'll be talking very soon. All right? Have a great one, guys. And we'll be talking. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.